What's up, people? This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for your news in motion. Today is Thursday, folks. It is Thursday, February the 24th, 2022. That's the day it is. As Camille Hopkins has in her YouTube comment, she says, "Good morning. Happy Friday Eve." So it is Friday Eve, y'all. I'm so glad you're hanging out with me today. So come on in the room. Come on in the room. This is our last weekend of the official Black History Month. But as we know, Black history is 365. It never stops. Good morning, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Camille Hopkins. Good morning, Dana Mosley. Good morning to you, sister. Good morning, Deborah Sneed. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. Yeah, it is a great day to be alive. Anytime the Lord gives us one more day, we should be excited about it. I see you, Riakis. I see you, Marion Jackson. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning, Latrice Jones, girl. Good morning, Ron Robinson. Let me tell you, Ron, we were cracking up at you, buddy. And I said, since Ron, I said, see, this is how things happen, because Ron was like, look, when you go on the road, I'll be your security. I was like, shoot, I've been in hired Ron and Holly. Like, let's go, family. We got somewhere to go. See, first person asked always gets in first. Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning to you. Y'all, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I know you're for real, Ron. I'm for real too. Good morning, Patricia Lyles. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now, the reason you're probably like, how can she say this is the day that the Lord has made and there's chaos going on in the world? I'm going to get to that in a little bit. I'm going to get to that. Some of our news is changing because we're getting breaking news in as we're going about the morning. So we had to do a quick flip this morning. It wasn't a flop, it was a flip this morning to make sure we're bringing you up-to-date information. Great morning, Lori Wallace. Great morning. Latrice says, Ron doing security. Jeffrey Allen James, good morning to you, my brother. Good morning. Yeah, y'all, there's a lot of news coming out, so we're going to get to that as well. So let's do what we do, y'all. Let's go ahead and put this news in motion. Let's go. Hey, y'all, Isaiah is my hype man. He's my hype nephew. Listen, he makes my morning because I happen to look down at him when we go into the intro, and that dude be jamming back there. He puts a smile on my face. So Latrice Jones, Fred Jones, y'all have an amazing, brilliant son. I see you, Pastor Alex. Ron Robinson, Ron Robinson, thank you. He says, I just have to tell you, I love and I am. Thank you. We love you too. Good morning, Rosanna. Good morning, Katrina. Good morning, Kelly Lee. Good morning to everyone. All right, y'all, I'm gonna be skipping around because news just is coming in. We have our system where it comes in from different things. As you all now know, as you woke up this morning, or maybe you were still up in the middle of the night, Russia has attacked Ukraine. So that is happening right now. We do not have permission to use any of the images yet. When a press release comes out, it takes normally 30 to 45 minutes for them to give us the credit of the images. So we have no images to share. The other thing that I am concerned about, or caution, I use caution on my end. Good morning, Kim Edmondson. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Kenny. The thing that I take caution on my end, some of the images I have seen since I've been up since 4 o'clock. They're horrific. So I don't want to show those type of images. So I'm learning how to, now that we're under some sort of attack, I'm learning how to use discernment as to what images to use and what images not to use. Good morning, Louis Pryor. So I'm being very cautious about that, but we had not received the credit information yet. So we're not going to share those yet, the ones that we have. And then out of the ones that we have, and I'll say about 50 images, there's only 2 that I would really show. They're horrific. So let me just break down some of this that's going on. Yes, thank you. Let's pray, Patricia, for what's happening in Ukraine. Good morning, Danielle, coming in on YouTube. I love y'all coming in on YouTube. And make sure while you're in YouTube, you can communicate with each other in YouTube. That's why sometimes I stop and share some of what's happening. So if somebody wants to weigh in from another platform, you know what someone else has said, so you can weigh in on that as well. I'm so excited. We are trying to figure out how to keep the chat in YouTube. For some reason, once the show is over, the chat disappears. So we want to find out how to keep that information in there because people do check the chat to get information. So, y'all, early this morning, Russia launched a full scale invasion of Ukraine. Yeah, y'all, the situation is continuing to unfold. And as it is even now, right before my eyes, I will be giving you information. Good morning, Cherie. Ukrainian lawmakers approved a state of emergency on yesterday, the latest step in rapidly escalating tensions. And as we now know, they have began their attack. The measure now allows curfews, it suspends political rallies, and it mobilizes the country's militia. Now, in some of the images we received, I'll talk about it, but we won't show those. In some of the images that we received, I saw some images where children were adults, and you can clearly say that they were children, were being taught quickly in Ukraine how to use a gun. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And if you're watching any of the national news, you're seeing some of that unfold already. You're seeing that live. Good morning, Elizabeth. So also on yesterday, right before the attack, Russia pulled diplomatic staff from its embassy in Ukraine, and that kind of set off the signal that something was about to happen. Now, Ukrainian officials urged any citizens in Russia to depart the country immediately, and developments that foreshadowed today's attack. Now, let me keep going because AP just sent out a report, so let me give this one out here. And I will be, because I have not had a chance to comb through it, I'm going to give it to you exactly how I have received it. It says the attack Western leaders have been warning us about for months have finally arrived. Shortly after President Putin announced Russia's military operation in Ukraine, explosions were reported in the capital of Kyiv and in other Ukrainian cities. Troops on both sides have already been killed in fighting, according to the Ukraine's military. The country has also closed all airspace to civilian flights. Yes, Dana, very, very, very sad. Yes, Latrice, Lord help us. All right, y'all. Putin said, this is still AP reporting that his goal is not to occupy Ukraine, but to demilitarize it. Yeah, okay. The White House has since issued a full-scale invasion, recently estimated, that a full-scale invasion like the kind President Putin just launched could lead to 50,000 civilians killed and up to 5 million people displaced. All right, civilians are already on the run, if you will. And again, I'm reading this as I'm getting it. There was a statement sometime early this morning. President Biden denounced its unprovoked and unjustified invasion and asserted that Russia alone is responsible for the death and destruction this attack will bring. He is now gathering this morning. He's gathering this morning, meeting with other members of the G7, and will reveal severe sanctions against Russia. The U.S. and its Western allies have already began minor sanctions on the country's banks and elites. But they had pledged to bring much harsher economic penalties against Russia if they have invaded. And now, since they have invaded, they are moving forward with more sanctions. Now, y'all, the EU is ready, has already extended their harshest package of sanctions ever. And again, if y'all see me reading this is coming in, and I have not had a chance to go through this to highlight it, to pull out certain things. So that's why you're seeing me kind of like go slowly through this. Let's see. The whole of the international peace order. This is the EU. This is the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is saying about the harshest package out of the EU. Now, while sanctions could be devastating for Russia's economy, the war will ripple across the entire global economy. So, y'all, that's what I have so far, and I see more that's starting to come in. So, again, if there's something I think that's going to be um, beneficial for us in this morning in this time slot that we have, I'll be sure to share it. But what I need to say to you and make sure that we all understand that early this morning, Russia has launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The situation is continuing to unfold. So that is what's happening right now. Yeah, that's what's happening. Good morning, Dr. Antoinette. So going on to other news, and I'll come back to that as we're getting more that comes in. Y'all, the trial of the officer charged in the police raid that led to the death of Breonna Taylor began on yesterday. And then here's something else. We're not going to show the image, but here's something else, y'all. New York Times is reporting. I want y'all to hear this. I really want y'all to pay attention to this. Pregnancy-related deaths for U.S. mothers spiked 14% in 2020 compared to 2019, from 700 to 54 deaths to 861 deaths. Now, those deaths are just as important as the deaths of those who died from coronavirus. Now, this is according to the National Center for Health Statistics, and then the increase was most pronounced, I want y'all to hear this, among Black women who experience roughly 3 times the rate of maternal deaths of white and Hispanic women. It also highlights out of the New York Times reporting that major discrepancies in maternal mortality rate in the US compared to other countries. Y'all, the rate in the US is more than 2 times that in other wealthy nations such as the UK and Canada. Now, Black women in America experience the most deaths. I want us to just sit there for a moment. And I want to come back to see what some of you are saying. Yes, Ron. Can you pull up Ron's comment, Isaiah? Because he went back a little bit, which I'll go back and grab that as well. Y'all do know that I am probably several seconds ahead of you. And so your comments are coming in. So I always try to come back and grab your comments and bring them back. So I've learned how to weave and ebb and flow, if you will, with the affecting economy. Make sure you have enough cash. Yes, yes. And we're going to be talking about that. Thank you, Ron Robinson, for bringing that up. I'll come back to that in a moment. Let me finish this with the Black women. Black women in America experience the most death when it comes to infant mortality, maternal mortality, excuse me. 1/3 of pregnant women and new mothers who died in 2020 were Black. 1/3, y'all, were Black women. Though Black Americans make up just over 13% of the population, their mortality rate was nearly 3 times that of white women. Yeah, that's serious. Again, this is one of the reasons right here, what I just reported to you out of the New York Times. This is one of the main reasons why we should vote. Yeah, because this needs to be a part of the legislation conversation. We need to be talking about not only infant mortality, but maternal mortality, and talk about why is it that Black women are dying at a higher rate, although our population is lower, but why is it that they're dying at a higher rate was nearly 3 times of that of white women? Why? Why is that happening? These are the questions we need to be asking. These are questions we need to be asking our elected officials. See, we think it's just one thing. And that's one thing I'm praying that we do here on News in Motion is that we fully communicate why we must vote. I think I'm doing okay, but maybe I need to ask the viewers, am I addressing this enough? I don't want to talk about it every day, but when something like this comes up, am I talking about it enough? Y'all, that's not okay. What is it? Is it doctors? I know someone very well here in Central Ohio, young couple. They were delivering, I believe it was their fifth child, and the people in the hospital treated them like there's 5 babies coming out of this family. They're young, and I think they were just like in their early 30s. What they're doing with 5 children? What do they do? And it was almost a horrific event. because they did not care about this Black couple. And they're married. Okay, they're married, and it shouldn't matter anyway if they're married or not. But they're married, and they treated them like they were young, they were Black, and they have too many children. And she was bleeding, and they sent her home. Really? You did that? Why did you do that? This is the information we need to be taken to our elected officials and say, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I know it's national news still coming out of Central Ohio about a doctor who was prescribing fentanyl, and all of these people started dying at a particular hospital in Central Ohio. Ask the question. And when I see those pictures, when they put them up during the news break, or when I'm watching it on C-SPAN or whatever, I'm like, there's a disparity here, things that we need to be talking about right here. Y'all, here's why we vote. Here's reasons why we vote. And I think we need to here are reasons, excuse me. I think we need to be paying more attention to that. I think we need to be paying more attention. So I wanted to share that with you. All right, y'all, from the Council on Foreign Affairs. Y'all, Australia, Japan, and Canada joined countries sanctioning Russia. This is coming in. The three countries joined the United States and European Union and United Kingdom. They're announcing their sanctions this morning. So that just came through. So this is real time, y'all. That just came through. Yeah. Yeah, other things from Council on Foreign Affairs. Hong Kong announces measures of cushion economic blow of COVID-19 wave. The measures which include cash handouts, y'all, for individuals and tax breaks for businesses are expected to push Hong Kong's budget into a deficit after a surplus last year. In North Korea, the UN Human Rights Envoy for North Korea said the country's COVID-19 control measures are worsening its food crisis and called for foreign governments to provide it with 60 million vaccine doses. Now, I want y'all to not miss this, and this is not commentary on what I just shared with you. I have to be very careful with that, but I want us not to miss this. Y'all, notice these other countries where the borders are open, that they're now going into somewhat of a lockdown with COVID-19, talking about the vaccine and the food and the crisis they're dealing with. I just want y'all to make sure you're paying attention to that. In India, the country said its first shipment of the 50,000 metric tons of wheat it plans to deliver to Afghanistan as humanitarian aid. That is happening on Council of Foreign Affairs. Y'all, the UN Council ends Iraq's obligation to compensate victims of 1990 Kuwait invasion. That's happening there. Y'all, in Qatar, it talks about Russia cutting off gas supplies to Europe. Qatar could only redirect 10 to 15% of its liquefied national gas exports to the continent. The United States has pressed Qatar and Japan to be reserve suppliers. So with this attack happening, now there's a supply situation. So going back to what Ron Robinson shared earlier, y'all have some cash. It's important to have cash because the banks and the supply chain and everything that's there, y'all, it's a trickle down effect. So make sure, go back to what I shared with you all. I believe it was 2 years ago during Christmas time when we were deep into COVID. Cash, have a flashlight, have candles, have water. Y'all, this is going to be a ripple effect. I want y'all to hear me. This is not to incite fear. This is going to be a ripple effect. I'm not an expert in foreign policy or anything like that, but everything that I've been reading up until the breaking news this morning, this is going to ripple out to all of us. Good morning, Mike Nicholson. He's on LinkedIn. This is going to ripple out to everyone. So have cash, have batteries for a flashlight, have candles, be prepared. Look at it like a winter storm, which one is coming through right now. Look at it like a winter storm. Things that you have blankets if you're in a cold climate, have fans if you're in a warmer climate, but y'all be prepared. Be prepared. We need to stop thinking as Americans, oh, this isn't happening over here. It's not happening to us. So it's not going to affect us. That's not the truth, y'all. That is not the truth. So we need to be aware of this, y'all. In Somalia, the International Monetary Fund could freeze its lending program to Somalia in 3 months if there are new delays in the country's election. That is also happening. And then France drops Australia from a list of major Indo-Pacific partners. Y'all, this is already rippling. France dropped Australia from a list as tensions linger. And this can all just come to the forefront. Y'all, all of this is news. I didn't want to be this heavy on Thursday, but this is what's happening right now. Let's see, where am I going? All right, y'all, late comedy legend. I'm going comedy. I like, how did she flip there? Late comedy legend Jerry Lewis is accused, y'all, of sexual harassment and assault by several actresses and former co-stars. Y'all, Deadline's reporting that. Have you ever just sat back lately and thought about the news and what's going on, and even your local news, and think, what is happening? What is happening today? And why is this happening? Okay, but it is happening. Yes, Kim Edmondson, there's a lot going on. Y'all, Prince Harry, hear me. Prince Harry is going to be the cause of revealing everything in Buckingham Palace. Y'all, Prince Harry files a lawsuit against Daily Mail publisher, reportedly over recently published articles about his family's security. And this is People magazine that's reporting this. They did a sit down with him, and this is what we pulled out of that sit down. He's serious about protecting his family. He's serious about protecting, and Siri's Gary asked me a question, but I'm not talking to you. John Gore said, like, so why Russian after Ukraine? For those who ask, why does Ukraine matter? Thank you, John, for putting all that in there. Did you sit there and type all of that? Go, John Gore, go. Yes, there you go. So y'all take a look at that. Thank you, John. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So listen, y'all. And Deborah Snee said, stop it. Jerry Lewis is about 100 years old. Well, these women are just now coming forward, Deborah Snee. They're just now coming forward. So y'all, Prince Harry is serious about his family. He doesn't want to play with this family or anything that's going on. Security is his security, and he's not messing around with that. Y'all, Facebook Meta releases a short. John said, no, copy and paste. I thought you sat there and typed all that up, but thank you for copying and pasting that on there. Yes, and thank you, Isaiah, for leaving that up, because y'all, this is what we need to be.
1 second.
Now he's talking to me and I'm not talking to him. But anyway, so
still on it.
Well, I don't know why they're talking to me. I'm not talking to you. See what's happening. I have it on, y'all, so that I can get the news. The system is on my iPad to give me the breaking news, so that's why it's on. So forgive me for that. But anyway, y'all, a short form streaming video feature meant to compete with TikTok. So Facebook has released Reels. I thought they already had them, so I don't know. But this is new news, came out last night. CEO Mark Zuckerberg has expressed concern over TikTok's dominance among young demographics. Why are you concerned, Mark? Just why are you concerned? But there's that. All right, y'all, in COVID news, and then I'm going to get to some light stuff, hopefully. In COVID news, y'all, NBC is reporting that the retail giant Target has dropped its indoor mask requirements for employees and shoppers. Now, it depends upon the local regulations, but from Target corporate, they're like, we're dropping it, but follow your local regulations. Now, America's vaccination drive is plummeting. It has bottomed out. Mike Nichols said Facebook has stories. Yeah, but I thought I saw some videos on there too, but maybe not. Okay. So the vaccinations are bottoming out. they're coming to a halt. Fewer people are receiving doses each day than at the point since December 2020, when the shots were first made available. Now, according to Associated Press, incentive programs that gave away cash, sports tickets, beer, and other prizes have largely gone away. I'm still waiting on something because I was one of them first people in line, but whatever. Government employer vaccine mandates have faced court challenges and may have gone as far as they will be able to. Y'all, overall, 76% of the US population has received one shot. 65% have received either two of the mRNA shots or one Johnson & Johnson shot. And 28% have received a full vaccine course, including the booster. I'm in that number. So that's what's going on there. So I want to hear from you all for a moment before I go through some fun stuff that we have. What do you think? Do you think this is over? Do you think we're moving too fast? Do you think that they're just trying to shut it up, shut it down, get over it? What and here's another question I have for you. Not that you're going to answer all three questions, but the other question is, um, do you think do you think the goal is just to focus on the economy and not necessarily people, and why? So go ahead, fill it up. Fill it up, fill up the thread. Kenny Stanley says, where's my vaccine money? I feel the same way. You didn't have to coerce me to get it, okay? You didn't have to do that. So come on, tell me, what are your thoughts on the vaccine or the pandemic? Is it over? That's the first question. If this is this over? Do you feel safe to just go about your day without a mask, no matter where you are? Um, I still say back up off of me. What's one thing you want to continue? That's another question. And do you think they're just trying to silence this and move on because it's about the economy and not about the people? So weigh in. If you are tuning in by audio, you can always come to one of our platforms, Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, and share your thoughts. Elizabeth Town says, we had two super spreader events. Another one is coming up spring break. We'll see. I agree with you. Deborah Johnson says this is not over. I will continue to take precautions. Me too. Dana Mosley says just moving too fast. Focus on the economy. Lori says I think they are concerned about the economy. Also, the owners taking away the mask mandates are not the ones walking through the stores. Bingo. There you go. Adrian says seems that leaders see the need to stifle the noise and move forward is always ultimately about the money. Mike Nicholson says, nope, there will be a new strand. Deborah Sneed, no, ma'am. I will be wearing my mask. Keep your distance from me. Mike also says it's never about the people, always about the resources and money. Elizabeth says it's about the money. Marion says moving too fast, too soon. Latrice says seems like the economy impact was too great. Katrina says no, it's not going away. Y'all going too fast. Now keep putting them in there. I'll grab them. Kim Edmondson says on YouTube, I believe the virus is declining, but I will continue to wear my mask and forever keep my distance. Ron says it's not over. I'm still wearing my mask. Yesterday, I went to the gas station. I was the only person there with the mask on. I was too at Costco yesterday. Pastor Alex said, I think that they are okay with the acceptable amount of deaths. We're almost at a million. Kenny Stanley said, this is money driven and not about the concern for the people. Deborah says foreign students were wearing masks at OSU in the 70s. They knew way back then. Dr. Antoinette says, I do not think it's over. Me and mine are masked. And I think it's all about the money. John Gore said, nope, agree with the aforementioned comments. Yes, Dana Mosley says Westerville schools did away with mask mandate. So y'all, there's a lot here. And I think we have to continue to walk in our truth and walk in what we believe. I think that's what's important. Patricia Lau says the virus is still here. It's lying dormant for a bit. Listen, y'all, she works in a hospital. Boom, there you have it. All right, y'all, there's a winter storm. There's a winter storm. At least 2,000 flights are canceled as a winter storm moves through the middle of the U.S., up to half an inch of ice, possibly in regions stretching from North Texas into the Ozarks. So that is happening right there. I see you, Cherie. She says it's all about the bills. There you go. It's all about the bills. So, y'all, there's that. So, I want to end this as we're going into the weekend because next week we'll have one day of February and then we'll go right into Women's History Month. And we're going to be bringing you some powerful women who are going to be talking about their journey and things that they're doing, not every day, but maybe once or twice a week, kicking off in March. We have some amazing women who are coming forward to share with us. But this month was all about entrepreneurship. And I think we ended it with a bang on Tuesday with Keith Smith, the CEO, the visionary of Wayne Holding Group. Again, if you are on Patreon, be sure to complete that poll that we have in there as to what day he's coming. He's going to come and talk about how to. He's just not going to talk. He's going to give us the how to's. So you want to be a part of that. If you have any type of organization or business or side hustle or your entrepreneurship, whatever it is, he's going to be giving us nuggets, stuff that costs thousands of dollars. He's giving it to those of us who are on the News in Motion Patreon. If you want to become a patron, you can go to www.patreon.com/News in Motion. Again, that's www.patreon.com/News in Motion. And Isaiah, thank you. He just put it up on the screen for those who are viewing it. If you are driving, just come back and check it out later. But again, it's Patreon, patreon.com/News in Motion. You can get a $15 a month membership, and that helps with our grassroots journalism. All right, y'all. So that's what's happening. We're still having a goal to become debt-free come Easter 2022, and that is coming up. That is coming up. All right, y'all. How to end Black History Month. This is how I want to end today. And if you want to really join tonight, I have been invited to join my son in his church. He's pastoring a church called the Builders Church, and it's about a calling and not about competition. For those who want to shout that there's competition in the city with the churches because Minister Roseborough has started a church. Listen, he was called to that thing when he was 3 years old. John Gore can tell you, my sister and brother can tell you, he used to preach in front of stuffed animals. So he's not competing against any churches. He's following the calling that Jesus gave to him. So stop it with all this competition. He's not competing against anyone. So if anybody wants to join us tonight at 6 p.m. via Zoom, let me know. We'll send you the link. I will be talking about entrepreneurial pursuit. And they'll be interviewing me on how to build this thing. So it's free. Just let me know. We'll get you the link. It's going to be on Zoom. So how to end Black History Month. I have 11 things to share with you. Then we're out of here. I have an inspirational message as well. Number one, give to associations that advance Black history and civil rights. That's one way you could do it. All right, y'all remember, it's official in February, but Black history is every day. Every day. Number two, buy Black this weekend and support Black-owned businesses continuously. Buy Black this weekend and support Black-owned businesses continuously. Number three, watch old movies from Black filmmakers and Black producers. Be intentional about doing that. Go to Hulu, go to Netflix, go to Amazon Prime, whatever. Yes, Latrice, Black history is every day, every day. Yes, Kim Edmondson, follow the call, Alex, follow the call. That dude, listen, he's deep. He's deep. You know, what's that scripture? Touch not my anointed. I just put that out there. Number four, purchase Black art. There's some artists right here in News in Motion. Purchase some Black art. Be intentional about doing it and pay their price. Pay their price. Number five, attend a Black History event, even if it's virtually. Number six, purchase, read, share, and give books by Black authors. Y'all, there's tons. There's Black authors in every genre out there. Be intentional. Purchase, read, share, and give books by Black authors. Let's show book sales just soared this weekend. Number seven, learn about noteworthy Black figures and their contributions. Yeah. Learn about noteworthy Black figures and their contributions. Learn about them, y'all. Let's get beyond Malcolm X and MLK. Let's get beyond. Let's go and learn about people. Just like yesterday, I shared with y'all Dr. Farmer. I cannot tell y'all how many of you said, y'all, because y'all DM us or y'all email us, and y'all were saying, I never heard about him, just read about him. Wow, he's phenomenal. It's like, it's sad that we have to wait until someone's death to really understand who a person is. So take the time, do some searching, excuse me, on Google. You can find all types of things. Yes. Um, Go beyond the famous five. That's right, Dr. Antoinette. Number 8, donate to charities and support anti-racism, equity, and equality. So y'all donate to charities. Number 9, support and learn about Black women, especially as we're going into Women's History Month. Learn and support about Black women. Number 11, participate on an online event. There's many of them. I told you about the one I did with Lifeline of Ohio earlier this week. It was phenomenal. And Demia spearheaded that one. And then y'all, number 11, might get some pushback, but hey, I'm going to say it anyway. Take time. Don't listen to just the sound bites, but take time to listen to or read about the 1619 Project by the New York Times. Yeah, I said it. Take time to listen or read the 1619 Project by the New York Times. And don't just do it for yourself, do it as a family event. If you are single, connect with some of your outside family. If you are without any family, connect with some friends and do that. All right, y'all, here's my inspirational message, and we're out until Monday. Lean not to your own understanding. Lean not to your own understanding. And I want to thank Jessica. I won't give her last name. Jessica wrote in yesterday to let us know that she was so grateful for me sharing what I shared yesterday going into the inspirational message. She says she had been fighting with something. And she said she had no one to talk to. And then when she had gone to someone at the church, they kind of like they just kind of like skipped over her, made it seem as if her issue wasn't important. She said the transparency is what she needed, that she can now face something that she's dealing with. Now, she's personally shared it with me. I don't know Jessica. She just tunes into News and Motion. She said she's been tuning in for about the last 3 months. She said she loves all the news. She said, but there's something about that inspirational message that carries her throughout the day. And I've heard from many of you who have said that. But she goes on to give me what's going on with her. And it was so close to what is happening with me. She said that she needed every word of that. So if y'all wonder why there are times I'm transparent, first of all, I listen to God. I have discernment and I wait. And if he gives me the release, I release it. And I now understand I released it yesterday for her. She needed that. So lean not to your own understanding. So often we get caught up in what we feel, what we think, how we live, that we're missing it. So we're leaning into our own understanding without taking a step back to hear from God, to hear what he has to say about it. God has a reason for everything that he does and says. So we got to stop leaning to our own understanding. We need to step back. We need to start closing our mouths before we respond. The world does not revolve around any of us. The world does not revolve around any of us. The world revolves around God and what he says and what he thinks. God is using us as we are availing ourselves in this season. God is using us for something greater. We're not going to understand everything. We don't even have all the pieces of the puzzle. It's about walking by faith and not by sight. We're not going to understand it. For example, yesterday, I don't know why, God said, I need you to say this. So I said it. And it's like, well, God, what's going to be the end result of this? Well, it was Jessica. And I'm sure there's others, but it was Jessica. And again, I will not share her personal information. But when I read her thing, I said it was for that person. It was for that person. The news that we deliver is noteworthy information. It's information. People need this news. People are like, I haven't heard this. It was Latrice Jones, I believe, earlier this week that was talking about something that was not what we would think to be important. But do y'all know women and men are being saved from that, meaning protected, I shouldn't say protected from knowing, okay, there could be catfish out here. There could be swindlers out here. There could be people who are out here to take my money. They could be lying to me, but I'm so caught up in what they're doing. But if we don't report it, people don't know. So when we come through news, we're looking at it. And there's times like, oh, I'm not going to say that. And then all of a sudden it's like back on top of my desk. I'm like, okay, God obviously wants me to say this. So I will share these different things. I can't lean to my own understanding because the news is not just about one person, it's about multiple people, and people are in need of the news that they are receiving. So y'all lean not to your own understanding when it comes to your household. You don't know why a person is going through what they're going through. The thing is, and something that God continues to teach me, and I know I've shared it on here before, everything does not deserve a response. Just pray about it. God doesn't reveal certain things to you for you to go share it. He wants you to pray about it. Stop leaning to your own understanding because many things that God is doing in this season, we do not understand. But we have to trust Him. We have to trust Him. And then we have to be obedient to the instructions that He gives to us in this season. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will. It didn't say He might. He will direct your paths. And even with that, that takes a level of patience. Y'all, that takes a level of patience. So even in your prayer time, pray for patience. All right, y'all, going into next week, Lori Wallace said, God knows who and when we need something and uses you to get the message to us in a way that we can receive it. Amen for that, Lori. Thank you. Y'all, again, what I shared on Tuesday, it stands true, although we're working through and we got everything back up and running smoothly, but it stands true. March the 2nd begins Lent for those of us who are believers moving into Easter 2022. And that's March the 2nd. So on next Wednesday, if you want to join us, maybe not do the fasting portion of it, but to pray. Pray for yourself, pray for your business, pray for your family, pray for your marriage, pray for your children, pray for your work, pray for your finances, pray for your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding. Just pray. And while you're praying, pray for news in motion. Where are we going? What we're going to do? How are we going to get there? How are we going to continue to fund the work that we're doing? What does that look like? What does that look like? We had an investor for a long time, but the investor says, it's time for y'all to fly. I need to see the viewers come with you to do what it is that you're doing. Yeah. And I accept the challenge. They're still with us. They still help us out time and time, but the investment is changing because they're like, you have too many viewers. And not even 3% in Patreon. Why is that? What is that? And how do we equip you all to see the importance and the need to invest in the work that we're doing? So pray for us. Yes, Ron Robinson, fasting does not have to be food. That is the truth. That is the truth. Maybe we'll put something out here about fasting next week leading up to Wednesday, March the 2nd. So, or maybe I'll do a webinar or something, or come on and do a live or something to talk about fasting so we all understand this. Ron Robinson says it can be anything you feel that you can't go without. He is absolutely correct, y'all. That is the truth. So join us with that. Join us with that on March the 2nd. The other thing I'm going to ask you to pray for, there's a lot of people, after my transparency on yesterday, there's a lot of people who are dealing with illness. Y'all pray for your brothers and sisters. Pray for all of us. Pray for us. All right, y'all, it's time for me to get out of here. So, stay well. I'm going to keep saying that. You should already be washing your hands. You should have been doing that since you were a young child. Listen, please don't take away social distancing. I really like that one. I'm going to still wear a mask. You do what you want to do. Next week, I'll have a new ending of some sort since this one obviously is dying. But y'all remember to make some bold moves. Until Monday, I have been your host, Gail Dudley, and this has been News in Motion. You all have a great week. I'm out of here.